Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be talking about, reviewing, comparing 5 pairs of leggings that maximize the booty scale, enhance the glutes, just make your glutes look the best that they could be. So this isn't like a most flattering leggings for your glutes video overall. This is just talking about 5 pairs of scrunch seamless leggings. The first leggings that came out in this style are the Alphalete Amplifies, and then I have 4 other pairs that are kind of similar, but they all have their pros and cons. So for each of the leggings, we'll be talking about how affordable they are, how flattering they are on the glutes, how much the scrunch feels tight and kind of like hides, because no one likes when a scrunch is too visible, how durable they are, how compressive they are, and a lot more. So definitely everyone is going to have their own personal preferences when it comes to this stuff. So I'll be sharing my own personal preferences and which ones I like best, but definitely I feel like these all may appeal to different people. So before we get started, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you like a super honest, in-depth activewear reviews. And without further ado, let's start talking about legging number 1. So before we begin all of the individual leggings, it's important that we go over how to get scrunch leggings on, because if you're not going to situate them all the way, you're not really getting the benefits of the scrunch. So these are the Amplifies right after I put them on. As you can see, they're not doing me any favors. So first I need to gather all of the fabric up from the legs, and then you pull the fabric around the back, kind of pull up the waist a little bit. I like to move a little fabric away from my crotch just so I'm not getting quite as much gathering. And I'm moving any extra fabric I didn't need back down my leg to make them a little longer for me. And there you have it. You can kind of keep situating them. The more fabric you pull in here, the more the scrunch is going to hide and the more flattering it's going to be, and the easier it is going to be to squat and all that, because you're going to have more fabric to stretch away. So that's how you get on your leggings. So first up, we got to talk about the Alphalete Amplifies. These are one of my most worn leggings, one of my favorite leggings of the year. I only worked out 3 times this week and I wore Amplifies twice. And I honestly don't repeat leggings that much because I have so many. I just reach for them all the time. So these are $72. They are the most expensive legging of the day. Alphalete does often have sales. They may or may not have Amplifies in stock at the time of the sale, but I have bought Amplifies on sale multiple times now. So it's possible to get them for around $50 or even less. They have a ton of color options and they have a couple unique features. So first they have the 3-tiered waistband. Here it is up close. It has 3 tiers and it's most compressive at the top to kind of snatch your waist in. The rest of the material is a super stretchy marled material. Some of the newer ones are solids and not marls. The logo is embroidered into the waistband fabric, which I love. I love an embroidered logo. They have a widow's peak detailing in the back, and the scrunch takes up basically the whole space from waistband to gusset, and the scrunch just kind of stops right before the gusset. So the scrunch itself is stiff. All of the scrunches today are stiff when you pull on them like this, but some of them feel a little more invasive than others, just depending on how stretchy the rest of the fabric is. But I find the best combo to make sure your scrunch kind of sits between the glutes and provides good separation without being too visible is when the scrunch takes up the majority of the space between the waistband and the gusset, if not all of the space. And the scrunch itself is on the thinner side, but still stiff, because if it's not stiff, then it just stretches out and doesn't do anything. So I feel like the Alphalete Amplifies have one of the best scrunches of the day because it is thin, takes up the whole space, and can hide well between the glutes. Now onto the categories. So the material for the Amplifies is a 51% polyamide, 38% polyester, and 11% elastane. In terms of stretch, these have maximum stretch, definitely one of, if not the stretchiest leggings of the day. I'm giving them a low to medium on durability. I've actually never had a pair of Amplifies rip on me. I have heard of some of these style scrunch leggings ripping on people. Personally, I have a bunch of pairs of Amplifies and I wear them very frequently, and I've never had a rip, but the marled material of the leggings is so thin and naked feel that it definitely lends itself to being caught on things. So if you have any sort of like snag in your nail or anything, you can get snags on the leggings. If you're wearing something Velcro at the gym, there's definitely potential for these to get damaged. So definitely not the most durable of the day. I'd say they're on the low side. In terms of affordability, these are the priciest ones of the day, so these score low in the affordability category. Squat proofness, because they are such a thin, naked feel legging, they are not the most squat proof. I'd say they're acceptable in almost every color, but as soon as you get to some of those super light colors like the Arctic blue, the lemonade, even when you wear nude underwear under them, they're still just like super sheer. So personally, I stick to medium to dark colors of the Amplifies. And as always, I just wear nude underwear underneath, and I find most of the colors are totally fine. But if you're someone who needs 100% squat proof, just avoid these. Compression, overall, light compression, but about a medium compression on the waistband. In terms of sizing, I do wear a size small in these, and I find them true to size, but I think a lot of people tend to size up if in between. Booty scale, definitely a high. These are like the highest of the high. And scrunch invasiveness, I would say low to medium. When I squat, I don't feel like a lot of tightness, you know, in the crack, but it's definitely possible. But it's definitely more than like a regular legging that doesn't have a scrunch. And scrunch visibility, I would also say low to medium. This also depends how much you're situating it and how much glutes you have to kind of hide the scrunch between them. So overall, I feel like the Amplifies do a great job. They still get a little bit of dipping down in the back of the waist, but actually every pair of leggings we're trying today does have a little dip down in the waist, except for the very last ones. So we'll go over that, but yeah, expect a little bit of dipping down. All right, pair number 2 is a pair of leggings that recently launched. These are the Honor Active Effortless Seamless. If you want a full Honor Active review, I just did one recently, including these leggings. So these are $50 and they come in 2 length options. I definitely clicked on the long when I was buying them, but I ended up with the short version. They're not too short though. The material is very similar, at least breakdown wise, to the Alphalete Amplifies. It's a 52% polyamide, 37% polyester, 11% elastane. But definitely when you feel them and wear them, they feel thicker, less stretchy, and a little more compressive than the Amplifies. They have a thick seamless waistband with a little contour detailing, and the contour detailing kind of goes around in the back and kind of scoops under the glutes and kind of gives some roundness to the glutes. So that's a little extra flattering element beyond just the scrunch. And as you can see, the scrunch does not start until about 2 inches down from the waistband. And as we talked about before, Amplifies, they take up the whole space. These ones aren't going to quite give the same scrunch effect because the scrunch is just a little bit too short and too low down. Here's the scrunch itself. It's definitely on the thinner side and basically connects to the gusset down here. And the scrunch itself is stiff, but the rest of the fabric is pretty stretchy. In terms of stretch, I'm going to give these ones a medium. They're definitely not quite as stretchy as the Alphaletes. Durability though is also a medium. The fabric does feel more durable than the super stretchy naked feel of the Amplifies, but you're not going to get quite as much of a naked feel on these. Affordability, they're definitely in like the mid price point, a little cheaper than the Amplifies, a little more expensive than the most affordable options today. Compression is actually medium to high, so this fabric definitely felt like it was compressing me a little more, and because of that, I also felt like my glutes were like slightly compressed, which docks a few points on the booty scale. These ones I'm only giving a medium to high. Scrunch invasiveness, gonna give a medium. It definitely felt a little more snug up the crease than the Amplifies. In terms of scrunch visibility, I'm also giving it a medium because I just didn't feel like I could situate it on the glutes and stretch enough fabric around to hide the scrunch, just because the fabric wasn't quite stretchy enough. But you have that additional element of the glute contour, so I still felt like these were flattering overall, and I liked how they felt, but I wasn't quite getting that glute enhancing that I expected out of them. So they still didn't beat the Amplifies for me. Next, we have the first Amazon pair of the video. These are the Arola Seamless Scrunch Leggings. These are $32, so definitely on the affordable side. They're listed as a 25-inch inseam, but they have a ton of vertical stretch, so I was able to get these to go all the way down to my ankle, so definitely tall girl friendly. I heard that they ran small, but I wear a small on these, and I honestly felt like they felt pretty similar to like my Alphalete Amplifies. They're just very stretchy, but personally I wouldn't size down just because I feel like I would get a little too much waistband compression. But if you're in between, I would size down. Material breakdown for these is 56% nylon, 34% polyester, and 10% spandex. And here are some close-up details. So we are also getting that 3-tiered scrunch on this one, so you're gonna get a lot of waistband snatching. We also have a very similar marled, stretchy fabric detail here. The logo on these, it's just a little bit bold. It is a vinyl press-on logo, which I don't love vinyl press-on logos because they just kind of like peel off over time, and it's just like very bold on this. I think they're trying to change their logo, but I would prefer an embroidered logo or literally no logo at all. And they have the widow's peak detailing, and the scrunch is also pretty thin and takes up basically the whole space from waistband to gusset. It does stop just a little bit before the gusset, doesn't attach quite to the gusset. So these were definitely the closest to the Amplifies. They didn't feel exactly the same, but they are definitely close. Stretch is also maximum stretch. These might even be a little stretchier than the Amplifies. What this video is coming to tell me is that the percentage of elastane does not entirely dictate how stretchy the legging is, because a lot of these have had about the same elastane, if not exactly the same, and there's a big discrepancy in the stretchiness. Durability on these is also a low. These will definitely get snagged. Affordability, these are almost the lowest price legging of the day, so definitely super affordable. Squat proofness is also not great. This is definitely a super thin, naked feel fabric, so I don't know if they have any lighter colors at the moment, but just as a reference, here is me through the leggings. So again, I think that these are totally fine with a pair of nude underwear, and especially in like the medium to dark colors, but don't expect 100% squat proofness. Compression is light. These are super low compression. You're definitely gonna get around a medium at the waistband though. Scrunch invasiveness, super low. This probably is the least invasive scrunch of them all. And scrunch visibility is about a low to medium. I feel like it does a pretty good job of hiding between the glutes. So these are a pretty great Amazon legging for the price, and I actually really liked them. The next leggings are the Elus Seamlux Intensify leggings. So these were $52, so also kind of in that mid price point. And material wise, these are way different than the other leggings we've tried so far today. These are an 87% nylon, 13% spandex, and they're definitely more of that like classic thick, durable seamless material. So here's a close-up of the waistband, just kind of a classic seamless ribbed waistband, definitely on the thicker side. And then the rest of the leggings is also going to be kind of a knit seamless, going to be super durable. And then here is the scrunch in the back. You have a little widow's peak detail. The scrunch is, I think, maybe a little thicker than the Alpha Leaps, and they don't go quite down to the gusset. And as we can see here, I got a little run in them. I definitely heard some crackling when I was doing my squat test, and I think we found where that happened. So I don't think they're ripping. That kind of thing is definitely possible, especially with a scrunch like this that's just so stiff. And the logo is also embroidered onto the waistband, and I love that. So in terms of stretch, they feel pretty stretchy when you're just holding them, but when they're on and you try to like pull them up and situate them, it's really more of like a low to medium stretch. So they definitely didn't quite have as much stretch as I'm looking for in this type of legging. Durability though is definitely a high. You will not get snags on these. You can use your glute bands. They're gonna be no problem. I know we have that little run back here, but in terms of the fabric overall being very durable against any like scratching or pulls, these are definitely going to be the most durable. These are also super thick and opaque, so way more squat proof than the other ones. Also definitely a high compression, but with that I also got the glutes slightly compressed. So these are actually only a medium on the booty scale. I think just a combination of the scrunch just not quite taking up quite enough space here. I think the widow's peak detailing is just a little bit too long, and the scrunch needed to be a little bit longer. And that plus like not quite enough stretch to kind of situate it around my glutes. I was not getting the glute separation that I was getting in a lot of other ones. And with that, the scrunch was very visible because it wasn't hiding at all. It was just kind of sitting over top of my glutes. But the scrunch was not invasive at all because it wasn't actually going up the crease. I also have worn these for a workout, and they did kind of slide down on me a little bit, and I just felt like I was constantly pulling them up, and I just really don't reach for these that much. I just don't feel like the sizing really worked for me because it was tight on the glutes, but the waistband gaped, and I don't know. I wanted to love these, but I think they need a couple changes before I truly love them. And lastly, a legging that I've probably talked about way too much on this channel, the Amazon Success leggings, and not Success like S-U-C-C, but it's S-U-U-K-S-E-S-S. And in my head, success as in like I won success and success, they sound differently. The price on these vary. They are on Amazon, and just a couple weeks ago they were like $15, but I checked today and they're like $31. So definitely try to buy them when they are on the lower end of their little price wave. I don't know why Amazon leggings do this, but at the highest they're about $29, so they are the most affordable legging of the day. The material is a 90% nylon, 10% spandex, and they're definitely another more durable seamless material, and they have a couple features that distinguishes them from the rest of these leggings. So first of all, these are the most high rise, and they actually have like a separate ribbed waistband sewn onto the leggings. It's not a seamless transition like the rest of them. So here is the waistband, super compressive, super waistband snatching, and it is just sewn on. No front seam, these are a seamless legging. And the waistband kind of dips down into a V in the back and kind of curves around your glutes, so that's super flattering. They also have this little like glute contour detail that I feel like is really subtle, but you still do get like a little extra roundness to the glutes with it. And the scrunch goes fully from waistband to gusset, so it definitely sits in there and separates the glutes. Here is the waistband close up. You can see it goes all the way down, but it is a little thicker than most of the other scrunches today, so a little more visible. And like I said at the beginning, these are the only leggings that don't dip down slightly in the back. So if you hate that little like waistband dip down thing that a lot of these scrunch leggings are doing, these do not do that. In terms of stretch, I'm gonna give them about a medium stretch. They feel super stretchy just like this, but when you're wearing them, they just have a little less stretch than like the Amplifies. Durability, definitely a high durability. I have worn these, I have squatted in them, and they are still holding up, and they're also that kind of more durable knit seamless material that doesn't snag easily. Affordability, these are the lowest price, so definitely get full stars on the affordability. Squat proofness, they are fully squat proof, definitely one of the most opaque leggings today. Compression, they're about a medium compression. The waistband, maybe medium to high, really snatches you in. And they almost would be a little more compressive, but they have a little extra stretch to them, so about a medium. Booty scale, definitely high on the booty scale. These definitely have that little glute contour. The scrunch sits between the glutes, enhances them, but scrunch invasiveness is maximum on these. Like, it goes right up there and definitely feels snug. So if you don't like that kind of like wedgie feeling, stay 10 miles away from these because they definitely feel like that. And scrunch visibility, I'm gonna go with about medium to high just because it is a little bit thicker than some of the other ones. But I honestly just feel like these still did a great job. Even though the scrunch is a little visible, they're still a very flattering legging, and they also have a little more cellulite coverage than a lot of these because of that thickness. All right guys, that's it for the video. Comment down below if you've tried any of these and what your thoughts were, what your favorite is. If there's something in these scrunch leggings that you look for that maybe I don't. I know not everyone loves the scrunch leggings, like I get that. That's why I review a lot of leggings on this channel, but today was just about the scrunch. Give this video a thumbs up if you made it this far, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!